Hello, welcome to another little blog which I'm doing today. This is possibly going to be a pretty technical blog in as far as the setup, but my principal reason for talking to you today is I want to just give you a quick overview of the Godox flash accessory kit. But before I start, I just wanted, for those of you who are fairly interested in the technical setup, I'm using my main front camera here with a recording to the SD card in 1080, which is basically my backup track. I'm sending the HDMI output to a separate recorder, an Atomos Ninja recorder, and I'm shooting in 4K. Now, although generally you wouldn't want to shoot in 4K, I do find that in some of these interviews, when you want to cut in and do close-ups and things like that, then the 4K does work well. But it's harder to manage. But hopefully, by using the external monitor, I'm becoming more efficient with the Atomos Ninja 5 and the way that the codec works. So hopefully that'll be okay. And then on the side camera, again, I'm using the same, more or less the same setup. Normally I would put that on a slider, but I've left it static today, so you can just see all the materials that I've got on here. So that's our camera 2, our side camera. And then for a close-up, I'm using the Nikon, the D4S, again with a, I think it's 24-70 lens on that one. And I'm using an old Lilliput monitor that I've got, just so I can check that it's still running along with it, which I think it is. So I know that the camera 1 here is running because I'm looking at the monitor there and watching it, and camera 2 and camera 3, and I've also got an overhead camera here, which is set up on a rig, which if anyone wants to know how I'm doing this rig setup, please give me a shout. It's a fairly new system to get the stability of it, and I picked up some hints and tips from various other people, so I managed to do that. And again, the monitor, just monitoring what's going on here to make sure that things are running as well, because it's very difficult to see that camera above and whether it's still running, so I'm hoping it's still running. So added to that, and just to complicate it or make it more interesting, I'm recording the whole thing on the GoPro, which is doing the whole scene, so we can cut into the whole scene. For audio, principally I'm using a little wireless Boya system here with a lab mic that's transmitting to the separate recorder over there, because the recording side of it is always going to be better when it's done externally. So I'm recording it separately, and then I'll bring it into the post-production and sync it up. And I'm also, as a matter of fact, I've just got little microphones on each of the cameras so that I can get a good scratch track, and so that my audio will sync up properly. So when I merge everything together, everything will have an audio, and it'll look at it, the software will look at it. I'm using Final Cut Pro, so it will look at it and it will all merge in nicely to create a multi-cam system. And I don't want to take any chances by not having a good audio and then having to sort of mess around trying to line up the audio. But anyway, going back to the principal reason for the blog is that we probably all know about the Godox AD200. It's a very popular powered flash. It's got a lithium battery, which can get you 500 flashes on generally. There it is in its entirety. It's got a built-in wireless system, so you can control it from your camera. You switch it on, and you've got a display here. I'll just show you the display coming up there, and then you can go TTL, you can go manual, and you can go multi. Be honest with you, I've never really done multi, but there's the display, if you can catch a blink at that, so you can change that from the different mode. There's the quarter power and there's the multi-mode. So usually you would probably work on manual and do all your power settings separately. So we've got that, and it's got a little modelling light which is staged on and off. I think you can change the power of that. Don't seem to be able to do that at the moment. But anyway, in its normal sense, we've got a power, a good quality, heavy powered lithium battery flash gun. I mean, that's what we've got here, a flash gun, and a powerful one at that. And this is 200 watts per second. So what I've tended to do is I've replaced the main strobes that I used to have. I had 400 watt main strobes, which virtually become redundant. I've sold them now because I was only finding most of the time when I was doing portraits or events that I was only using about a quarter of that, about 100 watts. These are 200 watts each. And if for some strange reason I needed to have more than 200 watts in any softbox or any given light, there is an adapter that allows you to put two of these into one holder and power it at 400 watts. So should I ever need that, I can double them up and get 400 watts. So I just felt that I just didn't need it anymore. They're completely wireless, so I wasn't using any battery packs anymore. I wasn't really using the pocket whizzes anymore because all this is controlled through radio control. So didn't need to use that. So we've got here the flash head, and just to run through quickly, basically you know that the flash head comes off and you can fit on the burr bulb fitting. Okay, so we can snap that on there. Okay, and you can see that that's got the burr bulb, and that will give you a nice even lighting in your softbox, so virtually emulating your main strobe, more or less. That's done away with the main strobe. So if that was fitted in a softbox, you would get a lovely, nice light. It's reduced power because it's not set up with a camera. But just to add to that, and I think that this is possible, you know, Godox's unique way of developing the thing, sort of reorganizing themselves a lot, is to have another accessory, and the other accessory is the round head. So this is the round head, and that fits on to there again, and it becomes a round head flash gun. And the beauty of this is that you're going to get we're going to get a lot smoother, because when these were invented, and I don't know who decided that we're going to make them oblong. That there must have been some theory in that. There must have been a reason. I can't see why, but when you think about it being round, you think, well, that's far more sensible to have a much softer light. So there you have the round head, and you've got the three heads there. You've got the Fresnel head, you've got the burr bulb head, and you've got your round head. So you've got all the options there. And then to go with this, just to show you that they've done a little accessory kit here, and it's comes with various little modifiers, and I'll just run through a couple of things. These are all magnetic, so magnetically strong. So what you can do is we can have the first one. We can have. I'll just see if I can switch that off. Oh, it's got 3 stages. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there's your magnetic head on there. So that's a diffuser. That goes 1, and then you've got a grid, and that will just snap on again, and then you can get the light to be more directional. So let's put that on there. So hopefully you use it as a torch if you want, and then you've got a more directional light. You can even put your diffuser on if it's too much. Those two snap on. There's another one here which snaps on, and it has a little deflector that clips over here, and so that if you were taking flash and you wanted to flash and spread the light, you've got another one. That's the third, fourth one. And you've got a snoot. So if you want to use a hair light, or you want to direct the light in a more centralized way, then you can just snap that on there. I think that will go on there like that, or actually I think it goes the other way, or you can put it on a blank and then snap it on there and have it sort of coming off like that. There you go, that's just snapping on and on like that. So that's a real directional modifier for the snoot there. And then just finally a couple of other ones. You've got a diffuser. Okay, so there's another diffuser if that comes in handy for you. And the other one is a little barn door, and there's sort of everything. So a barn door, there you go, little barn door. So you could use that at the back, direct a light and have it again as a background light, or you could principally put it onto your background there, you know, of various things, and you can see get an idea from the modifier and the light that's there, what it can do there. And so that's another one. So that's the barn doors. And then they've also given you some little gels here. There's a couple of yellow ones and a green one. Different thicknesses of gels. I'm not particularly into gels. I think that's why that is that magnetic one, so you can put the gels on and off there. I think that's what the blank one is. I'm not personally into gels, but you know, a lot of people like to do it. So there you have a full-blown accessory kit, and I reckon that let's just switch that off now. But I reckon I go out with one or two of these, and I'm covered for everything. And I take this little kit with me, and if I ever need to do anything more, it's all here. So I hope you just enjoyed that little insight, and just to see the multi-camera situation as well. And if there's any questions, please you give me a shout. It's Lawrence at myphotosforever.co.uk, and I'll be happy to give you all the rundown of all the lenses and the sound equipment that I've been using on this, and just let me know. So until next time, take care, see you then, bye for now.